Today we are going to do a transmission flush as opposed to a drain and fill where you just pull the plug. We're actually going to disconnect the cooler lines, and we have some 3/8 hose so we can feed the fluid into our oil drain pan. And we're going to show you the procedure on how to do this flush. We're going to use the Toyota Type 4 fluid. This is a 2005 Camry, by the way, did I mention that? And this is the correct fluid for this application. This is the original Toyota stuff. There's an alternative that sometimes I have used as well, this Valvoline MaxLife. It's a full synthetic, it's a pretty good deal. It meets Toyota specifications for a Type 4. So that's another option as well. But today we're going to be just using good old Toyota stuff. So I'm going to remove the cover underneath the transmission cooler line. We only need to do one side, and so we're going to do the driver's side here. And there's some clips that hold the panel in. So I pried that out with a flat screwdriver. And then the rest of them are just these 10mm head little screws. So just using the 10mm socket and the gun to take them out. We're missing a clip there. And, oh, getting all contorted here. Alright. Oh, one more. There we go. Alright, so we'll throw that out of the way. And now we have access to our transmission cooler line right here. And we just need to get some pliers to get the clamp off. So there's one of these spring type clamps that's holding the cooler hose on. Using my clamp pliers to just slide that back and get your oil pan ready because some fluid is going to come out. Might take a little work. Careful not to bust your knuckles on this because it might suddenly pop off. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we'll let that run out for a sec. Alright, so on this vehicle, the fluid is going to be pumping out of the radiator side, and we have our 3/8 transmission hose here that we're just going to shove on there. Don't need to clamp it because it'll hold tight enough, and well, assuming you have the correct size hose. And then I don't want to just submerge the hose entirely, make a big mess out of it. So I had a zip tie handy, so I'm just gonna do that. And now we're gonna run the engine and pump out some old dirty fluid. Alright, so now what we're doing is I'm having a helper turn on the engine and letting it run. You can see the fluid pumping out. And what we're doing is I'm keeping an eye on it. So as soon as you see sputtering, and not a solid flow of fluid coming out, then we're going to turn it off and put some new fluid in. You see that's all dark. Should be like bright red, but it's old and dirty. Alright, cut it! There we go. So as soon as you see bubbles, shut her down. Alright, so we got our transmission filler funnel and our quart of fluid. Well, we're going to probably put in about 4 right now. And so we're going to pull our dipstick, set that aside, and get the funnel set up. The funnel probably doesn't fit in the tube. I know it doesn't in this application, so you're going to have to hold it. And what I also did is I put a rag around the tube because, well, it's pretty much bound to overflow or spill at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a quart. And make sure you don't remove the funnel before it all runs down in there. It might go kind of slow. All right, so now we got 4 quarts filled up, and then we're going to repeat the process of pumping the fluid out of the line again. So we're repeating the process. Whoa, watch out for an air bubble. There we go. So we're running out more fluid until we see the line sputtering, and repeat the process all over again. Off. All right, so next step is just to repeat the process and fill up another 4 quarts. All right, so, whoa, another air bubble. So this is going to be the 3rd round of running the engine to pump out the fluid. This will be the last time we run it. At this point, we're going to be up to 12 quarts used, and you should start to see the fluid coming out red because we have some new transmission fluid flowing in there. Yeah, not black anymore. Alright, so I'm gonna slide my pan out of here carefully. Try to let all the fluid run off of this hose. And we'll reconnect the original hose and clamp it down. So next thing was putting the undercover back into position. Okay, so that does it for the undercover, and now we're gonna lower it back down so we can have the vehicle level and top off and adjust the level of the transmission fluid. Fill up our transmission fluid one more time, run the engine. I definitely like to take it on a drive and get it hot and recheck the level one final time, because basically when you're putting this new fluid in, the transmission's probably hot and it's going to be somewhere between cold and hot, so I don't want to get some just rough estimate measurement. I like to get it hot and get a for sure measurement.
You run the engine until it's hot, then you check the dipstick, then top off as needed.